Ever noticed how some people seem to get everything they want, while others struggle their entire lives without moving forward? Is there some kind of secret trick, a magic formula? Nope. But there is one thing most people don't fully grasp: when you commit yourself completely to something, it will happen. The problem is, most people just wish for things. They don't fully dedicate themselves. And without that level of commitment, nothing truly meaningful can happen. So the real question isn't, why aren't things working out for me? But rather, how deeply am I actually committed to this? Once you understand that, your entire life can change. Everything in the human world is created twice: first in the mind, then in reality. A skyscraper, a car, even the phone you're holding right now, all of them started as a thought before they became real. But here's the thing: if your mind is a mess, filled with doubts and fears, what do you think you're going to create? Exactly, nothing useful. The way your mind operates determines the quality of what you bring into existence. If someone's mind is full of confusion, their life will be a reflection of that same chaos. Now, picture someone who wants to build a successful business, but their mind is filled with uncertainty. What if I fail? What if it doesn't work? That kind of thinking is like pressing the gas and the brakes at the same time. You're not going anywhere. Now think about the opposite: someone who has a clear vision, stays focused, and takes action accordingly. These people don't just dream. They execute with precision. So, ask yourself what's playing in your mind right now. If it's not something you actually want to see in your reality, maybe it's time to change the script. The biggest trap is that most people don't even realize their mind is always creating, whether for better or for worse. Have you ever noticed how pessimistic people seem to constantly attract problems? That's not bad luck. It's just their mind working against them. Now imagine what could happen if that same mind was trained to create something extraordinary. The power is already there, it's just waiting to be channeled in the right direction. But the problem comes when the mind is out of control, acting like an unpredictable force. Almost as if you were sitting under a wish-fulfilling tree where everything happens instantly. There was once a man, exhausted from his journey, wandering aimlessly, when he found a large tree with comforting shade. Without knowing it, he had entered paradise. But since he had no idea where he was, he simply sat down to rest. The breeze was gentle, the surroundings peaceful. His body was tired, his mind distracted, and hunger started creeping in. Without thinking much about it, he mumbled to himself, "It would be so nice to have something delicious to eat right now." And in that very moment, plates of incredible food appeared right in front of him. He was shocked, but his hunger was stronger than his curiosity, so he just started eating. With his stomach full, his mind felt more at ease, and he thought, after a meal like that, nothing would be better than a comfortable bed to rest in. Before he could even finish the thought, a luxurious bed appeared right next to him. He threw himself onto it, amazed by how soft and comfortable it was. Now, he started realizing that something strange was going on. He looked around, trying to make sense of it. If I can get whatever I want just by thinking about it, then maybe I've found some kind of magical place. Excited, he wished for wealth, jewels, servants to attend to him, a beautiful palace. And instantly, everything appeared. What felt like a dream quickly turned into a nightmare when his mind, now filled with scattered thoughts, started working against him. A small doubt crossed his mind. This can't be real. What if there's a ghost here? And the very next second, a terrifying ghost appeared right in front of him. Panicked, he thought, "This ghost is going to kill me." And that's exactly what happened. The wish-fulfilling tree didn't judge his thoughts, it simply manifested whatever his mind projected. And that's exactly how the human mind works. The problem is never a lack of power, but rather the inability to control one's own thoughts. When the mind is out of control, it becomes unpredictable, jumping from one idea to another like a restless monkey, unable to focus on what truly matters. The human mind has a major flaw: it never stops. One moment, you're focused on what you need to do, and the next, you're lost in thoughts about the past or stressing over the future. It's like a restless monkey, jumping from branch to branch, mimicking whatever it sees, reacting to every little noise. Ever noticed how, when you see someone checking their phone, you suddenly feel the urge to check yours too? Or how a random thought can completely steal your attention for minutes until you snap out of it and wonder, wait, what was I doing again? Now imagine trying to build something great with a mind like that. It's like trying to cross a river in a leaky boat. No matter how hard you paddle, the water keeps rushing in. A mind that can't stay focused leads to impulsive decisions, missed opportunities, and wasted energy. People who jump from idea to idea, from project to project, never get anywhere, not because they're not capable, but because their minds have no stability. But if the mind can mimic, then why not train it to mimic something useful? An athlete practices the same moves over and over until they become second nature. A musician repeats scales until their fingers move effortlessly. In the same way, your mind can be trained to become sharp and powerful. The real question is, who's in control? You or that restless monkey? Because until you tame it, it will keep jumping aimlessly, training the energy that could be used to create something extraordinary. A disorganized mind is like an abandoned garden. Anything that gets thrown in can grow, whether it's a beautiful tree or a bunch of weeds. But when the mind is structured, it becomes a fertile ground for great achievements. Think about learning a new language. If you study a little today, then take weeks off before coming back to it whenever you feel like it. Your progress will be minimal. But if you organize your mind, set a plan, and stick to it consistently, success is inevitable. The same applies to every area of life. Mental organization determines the outcome. Now, think about someone who wants to improve their health. They know they need to eat well and exercise, but if their mind is scattered, they'll get stuck in excuses like, I'll start tomorrow, or just one more lazy day. The problem was never a lack of knowledge, it's the inability to align thoughts, emotions, and actions in a single direction. But when someone makes a clear decision and stays focused, everything falls into place. They don't need daily motivation to work out because the decision has already been made. An organized mind turns wishes into reality. But what if you could use that mental organization for something even bigger? Imagine if everything within you, your mind, emotions, energy, and even your body moved in the same direction, without distractions. It's like an army marching toward a single goal without hesitation. When this happens, manifesting your desires becomes as natural as breathing. But most people never experience this state because they're constantly shifting focus, wasting energy on paths that lead nowhere. Imagine someone driving across the country. If they keep changing routes every few miles, they'll never reach their destination. The mind works the same way. If you keep jumping from one goal to another, you'll never build anything solid. So many people start something with enthusiasm, only to quit and chase something else, thinking the problem is the path. But the real issue is lack of consistency. Success isn't about finding the perfect shortcut, it's about staying on course, even when challenges arise. The truth is, anything of real value requires persistence. A musician doesn't become great by switching instruments every week. An athlete won't build a strong body if they change their workout routine every few days. Successful people aren't necessarily more talented. They just have one key trait. They keep going. While most people give up at the first obstacle, they stay the course, adjusting, learning, and adapting along the way. That doesn't mean stubbornly sticking to something that isn't working. It means understanding that real results come to those who stay on the journey long enough to actually see them. Now, take a look at your own life. How many times have you started something but quit before seeing the results? Maybe a diet, a project, or a new habit. The human mind naturally craves instant gratification, and when results don't come fast enough, it shifts focus. But if you train your mind to stay steady, to not change course at the first obstacle, you'll see that great things happen. The problem is that most people don't realize they're also trapped in compulsive action, constantly reacting without real control over their own movements. Most people don't act, they react. They wake up in the morning and, before even thinking, grab their phone. They spend the day responding to messages, dealing with urgent problems, consuming random content, all without realizing they're running on autopilot. This kind of behavior isn't intentional, it's compulsive. Like a car with no brakes, the mind goes wherever external stimuli push it. But what if, instead of just reacting, you could choose every action with clarity and intention? Think about the impact of that. Instead of scrolling through social media first thing in the morning, imagine starting your day with a clear decision on what to focus on. Instead of wasting hours worrying about problems you can't fix, imagine channeling that energy into building something meaningful. People who shift from compulsive action to conscious action don't live at the mercy of circumstances, they create their reality. They choose what to think about, where to invest their time, and which actions truly matter. This isn't about rigid control, it's about breaking free from unconscious impulses. Now, look around. How many people are stuck in repetitive behaviors that lead nowhere? They don't choose what they do, they just follow the flow of their environment. But those who make the leap into conscious action start shaping their lives with intention. They realize their energy doesn't have to be wasted on destructive habits. And when that awareness grows, something even more powerful emerges: the ability to manifest desires effortlessly, because the mind is no longer an obstacle, but an ally. The human mind is like fertile soil, any thought planted that will grow. But here's the catch. If you plant the seed of doubt along with your desire, both will grow. And guess which one will choke the other? When someone wants something but secretly thinks, "What if it doesn't work?" they're already sabotaging the process. People who manifest effortlessly aren't just those who wish for things, they're the ones who believe without hesitation. For them, there's no "what if." There's only the certainty that it's already happening. Now, think of anyone who has achieved something extraordinary. A world-class athlete, a successful entrepreneur, someone who completely turned their life around. None of them started with proof that it would work. They started with faith. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. Oprah was fired because she was considered unfit for television. What kept them going? An unshakable belief that success was inevitable. Faith isn't about believing when everything is perfect. It's about believing even when everything seems to be working against you. But here's the mistake most people make. They think having faith just means thinking positive, when in reality, it's about being fully committed to the vision. Real faith translates into action. Do you act as if your goal is already a reality, or do you hesitate, waiting for a sign? If your mind is filled with doubt, manifestation slows down or doesn't happen at all. But those who eliminate this internal interference enter a natural flow where things just seem to fall into place. And that's when they realize that what they truly want isn't just a new car or a better job. It's an entire life of well-being, fulfillment, and balance. Everyone wants a better life, but few actually define what that really means. For some, it's money and comfort. For others, it's peace and happiness. But at the core of every human desire, there's one simple truth. We all just want to feel good. It doesn't matter if someone is chasing career success, an amazing relationship, or a healthier body, the final goal is always the same: a sense of joy and fulfillment. The problem is, most people try to find that feeling outside of themselves, when in reality, The path has always been within. Now, imagine someone who has everything they ever wanted: a great job, a luxury car, a loving partner. And yet, deep inside, they still feel an unexplainable emptiness. That's because the quality of life isn't just determined by what we have, but by the inner state we cultivate. When your mind and emotions are in harmony, even the smallest things bring happiness. But if your mind is chaotic, even the greatest success won't be enough. That's why the real journey isn't just about external achievements, it's about internal transformation. So how do you get there? It's not about ignoring your ambitions, it's about aligning your desires with an inner sense of completeness. When a person learns to be at peace within themselves, every external achievement becomes a bonus, not a desperate need. And here's the irony: once that inner harmony is in place, everything they desire starts flowing to them with less effort. The problem is, most people still believe they have to fight against the world to find happiness, when in reality, the key has always been in how we create our inner reality. Think about any positive change that has ever happened in the world. It always started with someone who first created the transformation within themselves. We want peace, love, joy, and balance in the world, but look around. How many people actually carry those qualities within themselves? People complain about society, the government, and everyone else, but very few stop to ask, what am I cultivating inside myself? Because, at the end of the day, the world is nothing more than a reflection of the sum of our intentions and internal states. Now, imagine two people. One lives in constant frustration, anger, and anxiety, spreading that heaviness to everyone around them. The other, despite facing challenges, cultivates a calm mind, balanced emotions, and a generous heart. Which one is making a positive impact on the world? It's not hard to tell. Most people make the mistake of waiting for the world to improve before they allow themselves to feel good, when in reality, joy starts within and flows outward. It's impossible to create a peaceful environment without first finding that peace inside yourself. And here's the big realization. Creating a better world isn't about changing millions of people at once, it starts with just one. If you can improve your own inner state, you're already contributing to that transformation. When a person becomes stable, conscious, and joyful, they naturally influence everyone around them. The real question is, are we truly committed to creating this change, or are we just waiting for it to happen on its own? Because those who choose to commit quickly realize that true power lies in the consistency of their intention. Failure is never the end, it's simply a test to see who's truly committed. Many people quit at the first obstacle, while others see every setback as a stepping stone to something greater. The truth is, talent and luck might help, but what really separates those who achieve something extraordinary is unshakable commitment. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They don't get stuck in fear of failure. They just keep going. And that simple act of persistence is what separates the successful from the majority. Think of any major achievement in history. None of them happened overnight. Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times before he invented the light bulb. Walt Disney was rejected countless times before building his empire. Success is rarely about getting everything right the first time. It comes from the willingness to learn from mistakes, adjust, and keep moving forward. Those who are truly committed to something don't waste time wondering if it's worth it. They know it is, and they keep going no matter what. Now, take a look at your own life. What are you truly committed to? Many people say they want success, but only put in effort when it's easy. Real commitment shows up when you keep going, even when no one believes in you, even when progress feels slow. Because once that mindset takes root, something amazing happens. The path starts to open, opportunities appear, and everything flows with less effort. But the problem is, most people quit before they even get to experience that moment, never realizing that the creative force that turns dreams into reality has always been inside them. There is an immense power within every human being, but few ever learn how to access it. Most people live in reaction to the outside world, trying to fix their circumstances without realizing that true transformation starts internally. When someone aligns their thoughts, emotions, and energy in one clear direction, life stops feeling like a game of luck and becomes a conscious process of creation. It's not just about thinking positive, it's about building a real connection with the creative force that already exists within you. Think about moments when everything just seemed to flow effortlessly. You had a brilliant idea, made the right decision, or attracted an opportunity out of nowhere. That wasn't luck. That was a glimpse of what happens when your mind and energy are aligned. But the problem is, most people only experience this randomly, never realizing they can turn that connection into something constant. When a person learns to operate from this state, they stop fighting life and start shaping it with clarity and intention. Now, imagine what would be possible if you had total control over this creative force inside you. If you could direct your mind and energy to create the reality you want, instead of just reacting to whatever happens. This isn't some distant theory. It's something that those who master their minds experience every single day. But few people realize that the key has always been there, waiting to be used. Because once this connection strengthens, effort decreases, obstacles fade, and what once seemed impossible starts to feel inevitable. If you want something in life, stop just wishing for it. Commit. Without full involvement, nothing great happens. You can keep waiting for a miracle, or you can become the source of your own creation. The choice is yours. Now, if this made sense to you, don't stop here. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and keep going on this journey of learning